you name it, we experienced it. Animals, for example, right? So once we showed up to the stage at home, and there was a dying raccoon, like right by the front door. And
At the front door. Welcome into Turnkey on Queen City News Plus, your go-to show for everything real estate in the Carolinas. We dive into the latest market trends, do's and don'ts in the industry, and have expert advice on navigating this dynamic landscape that we call home. I'm your host, Morgan Francis, and today we are going to talk about the art of staging, the 3 C's of staging, or possibly the 3 D's. And to help educate us on all things staging with a home, we are going to bring in Tatian Murga, co-owner of TNT Staging. Tatiana, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
hey, thank you for having me. It's my honor and my pleasure. Thank you, Morgan.
TNT Staging, not just a name.
A dynamite duo. It's 2 Tatianas, Tatiana and Tatiana. That's what stands for TNT.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of fun with that.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting, when we were talking on the phone before coming on the show today, there were a lot of things that you mentioned that surprised me when it came to staging. First and foremost, staging wasn't always a thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but some of the very famous competitive not websites, TV channels actually made it popular, and we all know what we're talking about,
Yeah, HGTV, you can say it.
Yeah, okay, I can say it. HGTV, made it very popular. But home staging, the word home staging comes from 1980s, and Barb Schwartz, the founder of home staging, she basically made it a registered trademark. So she is the mother of home staging.
She invented the art of
Yes.
how to make a space look marketable, essentially.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, she came up with that idea, and it's fabulous, and it's growing, and it becomes more and more popular because it does help sell real estate faster and for more.
So I mentioned the 3 C's of staging, but you like to say the 3 D's of staging. What are those? C's, D's, whatever. There are 3 bullet points, right?
All the letters. I love all the letters. So if we're talking, alphabet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's clean, right? And then color, meaning like paint your walls one color and then add. Usually it's neutral. Please stick to neutral.
So you don't like bright pink?
It depends.
Yeah,
It depends.
okay,
If it's model home and we're staging girls' room and your target audience has kids, absolutely go for it. But usually color, you want pop of color. You want some colorful accents here and there. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's 1 C, right? We talked about color.
Yeah, clean.
Clean.
Sure. Make sure that you deep clean. And declutter. This is D.
These are the D's.
Yeah, we're kind of like switched from C to D. So if we're talking about 3 Ds, that's going to be definitely declutter, depersonalize, and deep clean. So if you have that carpet and you have some puppies and babies, make sure you hire somebody to professionally clean it and things like that. And I always suggest people to pre-pack. You will have to move. Right.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, that's the goal, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. Especially if you staged your home, it's gonna sell faster and for more. So pre-pack. And I think it's gonna do 2 things. It's gonna declutter your home, make more room, make it look bigger. And second thing, it will reduce your stress level because you kind of already started the process. You already pre-packed. You're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. What are some common misconceptions about the staging industry?
Common misconceptions are. It's easy. It's about fluffing pillows. It's about like moving accessories a little bit here and there.
Because that's how it looks on TV. They're like, fluff one pillow, put a plant out, and we're done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So staging is basically like moving in and out all day, every day. Mm-hmm. And it's both very aesthetically pleasing process and very impactful. But it's also like hard labor and hard physical work because you're moving furniture in and out.
Now, does your team actually do the heavy lifting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do. We actually 50-50 perfectly balanced team between male and female.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like literally 50-50. So usually we have 2 or 3 guys doing the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
and 2 or 3 girls doing home staging. And we have some exceptional rock stars that are doing home staging on their own when I'm talking about stagers, designers. So sometimes one person could get it done with the guys, of course.
Okay. So what goes into figuring out what looks good in a space?
Well, first of all, you want to make sure that all the big pieces, just like in your basic wardrobe, just like in your, in your closet, you want to make sure that your, basically your base, the foundation of your wardrobe and the foundation of your staging is neutral. All the big pieces should be neutral. It should be light. It should be airy. It should be like off-white, beige.
Has that changed throughout the years? Is that just kind of the trend now? Or
no, it doesn't really change because people like everything lighter. 90% of purchasing decisions made by women. So basements.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, sorry guys, we love you, but but we're the
got the
decision
decor
makers.
covered.
We got yeah. So if we don't like it, you're not buying it. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that's why basements.
Okay, so light area. I'm assuming it's because you want anyone to look at the space and imagine their life in it, whether or not they would make those design decisions on their own. At least it has kind of that empty palette of
Absolutely. Clean, light, and then you can add interest through wall art, through decor. Add that pop of color because if you think about it, people start shopping online. When they came to see the house, they're already kind of like pre-selected it usually, right? Unless we're talking about home and you were in the neighborhood and you
right.
Exactly. So the first goal of home staging is actually to grab people's attention online. And when everything is gray, when everything is neutral, when everything is black and white right now, you need to add, that pop of color and those accents to grab people's attention.
What do you think are some of the mistakes that people make or that you've seen, at least in your years of experience?
Using a lot of pattern. It is, I would say, you have to be a legit professional with a lot of experience to match pattern because it's a busy space, right? So pattern is the hardest to match. Color is pretty hard to work with. So if you want to play it safe, if you're doing it yourself, I would say stick to neutrals and kind of like play it safe. Don't overdo pattern. Don't overdo the amount of stuff. So less is better. So overdoing it is probably the biggest issue.
You on the phone said something that caught my attention.
Something inappropriate, probably.
Yeah. You said, "Do you want me to talk about some of the horror stories of staging?" And I purposely didn't ask you about them because I wanted you to talk about them here. What could possibly go that terribly wrong?
Oh my God. Anything. You name it, we experienced it. Animals, for example, right? So once we showed up to do stage a home, and there was a dying raccoon, like right by the front door.
And by the front door.
And he was kind of like, he was having like seizures or something.
Oh my gosh.
And we felt bad for the guy, but we had an idea that somebody probably did that on purpose. And that poor animal is right in front of the, front door. And we cannot just go through, that poor raccoon.
Well, essentially, you don't know what the raccoon condition is. Or what.
Turned out the neighbors actually kind of like had something to do with it because raccoon was causing a lot of damage. So we had to like work around that. And then the other day, one of a very reputable builders, and they build wonderful high quality homes. Somebody opened all the faucets, and the house flooded with our staging in it. Like flooded the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we had to urgently destage, and basically like we had to throw all the rugs away. And there are some beautiful stories. So in spring, we decorate the door by hanging a wreath on it, right? And birds like to build their nests on our stuff, and we have to leave it because we don't want to disturb the birds. So so we're losing $30 on each wreath. Yep, every spring, and
so that happens frequently. Then
every spring, and we have several hundreds of home staged, like more than 200 home staged at any given moment. So it's kind of a small thing, but when you do volume, it's kind of a big thing. But But it's precious. I mean, we don't want to disturb the birds.
So do you have then, how do you cover all of your inventory? Do you have insurance on that? How does that even work?
Oh, we do have insurance on it, but I mean, $30 item.
Right, but if
not
a home is flooded, that's a different situation.
Well, usually we do have wonderful customers. We've been super
Mhm.
fortunate and lucky, and usually they do pay for those damages if it happened, on their property. But sometimes it's kind of like nobody's fault, and sometimes if it's something insignificant, we kind of just let it go. Just cost of doing business. So
Yeah. Talking about inventory,
oh yeah,
where?
Hello tariffs.
Okay, I was gonna ask. Okay, so it's impacting you too, obviously, even though you're in the furniture capital of what, the U.S. or the world.
Yeah.
High point,
Yeah.
But
Love it.
you, so tariffs are impacting you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, actually, 145% to be precise.
All right. So China.
So China, yeah. We're looking at other countries as well, like Malaysia, India, Vietnam. But yes, tariffs are hitting us pretty hard. We're trying to purchase as much as we can from existing what's already in the country. But yeah, I hope it's temporarily, and I always hope for the best. I think business owners, we're all sick, and we all hope for the best, and we're like excessively optimistic.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't start your business. So.
You have to be. You have to keep everyone at the company happy 100%. And feeling optimistic as well. Yeah. So then, are you looking at purchase? What do you do? Do you dial back your purchases, or do you look at other countries and try to find a similar product somewhere else? Because obviously, you still have a vision in mind in certain pieces that you want to get.
Yeah. Well, we have wonderful vendors, and we've been very fortunate. Just like you said, we are in North Carolina, the furniture capital of the United States. So we have some of the furniture suppliers that were very clever, and during the pandemic, they moved their production to the United States. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say who that is, but they're extremely smart, and they're literally printing parts of the furniture here in North Carolina on 3D printers. And they're doing insane amount of volume, and we're doing insane amount of volume with them, purchasing from them, because their delivery, even though we're buying it wholesale, their delivery time is like a couple of days. It's unbelievable. For wholesale, it's incredible. Sometimes it's 3 weeks if you're buying something wholesale. And we still do buy containers, but we did put ordering containers from China on hold, and we did order one from India instead. So, but I still hope it's temporary.
So how much should someone plan if they're looking to sell their home? And I know it differs, right? Whether you're doing a townhome or a mansion, I mean, that's a big difference there in just number of pieces that you would need. But what in their mind should they plan for in terms of a price tag of staging a home if that's something they want to do?
So staging a home is usually between $3,000 and $5,000. That would be like a safe ballpark. That's the average cost of home staging in the Charlotte area. Well, actually in both Carolinas, I should say. I would look at it this way. Your investment in home staging is always less than a price drop, because your price drop is usually at least $5,000. So staging is by default under that. So I would say, rather than doing a price drop, stage your home instead. Just do it right, and it's very impactful if it's done right.
Do you notice an actual tangible difference between a home that's staged and a home that isn't staged? How long it stays on the market?
Absolutely. Yes. So there is certain data like 80 to 20. So it's kind of floating in the air that staged homes sell 80% faster and for at least 20% more. Honestly, it sounds a little bit like too perfect for me. We have our own internal data, but I can tell you for sure, when we're staging a duplex, a duet, right? Every single time, we would start staging with the side of the duplex that is, let's say there's less natural light. Maybe, like, I don't know, the floor plan is not as great, but essentially they're identical. They're just like mirror, right? And the side of the duplex that we staged always goes under contract first. And what we do, we move that to the unit next door, and then that one sells. Like, it's unbelievable, because this is like twins, right? Apples to apples. Works every time like a charm. I will give you a heads up, of course, do not overprice your property. No matter how strong the real estate market is, if you severely overprice your property, like staging is extremely powerful and impactful, but price is equally powerful and impactful. So,
got one final question for you. How long typically does the staging stay in the home? Because obviously you can't keep it there forever, and that would be costly.
Yeah, absolutely. So we work on a 1 month minimum. And
Okay.
it used to be 30 days, used to be all you need. Now it's shifting towards 1.5 months, 45 days to 60 days. So we're pushing that 1.5, 2 months. That's just in general, like March market in Charlotte specifically was softer than it used to be. So I would say budget for 2 months. And keep in mind that the first month is usually the most expensive one because you're paying for delivery, installation, and destaging up front, right? And your following months, God forbid if you even need it, that one is going to be purely monthly furniture rental. So that one is going to be less.
Okay. Well, I've enjoyed the conversation. I feel like I learned a lot about staging that I didn't know previously, specifically that it didn't essentially exist as a thing until the 80s, which is fun.
Right.
So, Tatiana, I appreciate you coming on here on our show, TNT Staging. And it's been fun. Hopefully we can have you on again sometime soon.
I would love to do that. Thank you, Morgan. My pleasure. So wonderful to be here.
And to all of you out there, thank you so much for watching Turnkey on Queen City News Plus. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Morgan Francis from Queen City News here. If you enjoyed watching this content, be sure to download and watch our full series of Queen City News Plus originals on our app. You can find Queen City News Plus using your streaming devices, including Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and Apple TV. Just search the name Queen City News Plus. Your support will help us to continue our series. Thanks for watching.